From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your evening update.
Furniture and Mattress 86 is stocked with mattresses. Mattresses starting at $149. Try our 120-night trial. Mattresses come with a 20-year warranty. Up to 72 months, 0 interest. Free local delivery and pickup. Furniture and Mattress 86 on Merchant Avenue across from the post office in Reading. If you find it for less, you should buy it.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Meteorologist Mike Krueger. Thank you so much for joining me here for your evening update. Well, this warming trend, it's continuing, folks. In fact, we're really going to notice it tomorrow and especially this weekend with highs 106, 107, 108. Some of us approaching the 110-degree mark over the weekend. But the good news is this isn't going to last forever. This is going to be quite a heat wave. Yes, it's going to last into early next week. But by the middle and latter part of next week, we're going to be looking at a gradual cooling trend and highs eventually dropping back down below normal for this time of the year. So 3-4 days of this excessive heat, and then it's over with. All right, let's take a look at your Krueger's Quickcast for your Thursday, August 7th. For those of you that are just in a quick hurry, want to know what to expect here for tonight and tomorrow, here you go. Temperatures around 70 tonight for the valley, 40s and 50s for the mountains, the higher elevations, and of course the coast. Out the door tomorrow morning, a little bit on the mild side. We're starting to see those overnight lows staying fairly warm, so already close to 80 degrees by 8 o'clock in the morning tomorrow for the valley, 50s and 60s for the higher elevations, and less in the way of the low cloud cover for the coast. You're going to see more sunshine. You can clearly see that arc in the clouds over the eastern Pacific. That's the ridge of high pressure that's building. It's getting stronger, and that's going to give us those warmer temperatures I was talking about. Now, we're talking about lack of cloud cover for the coast, maybe some fog around Humboldt Bay tonight, early tomorrow morning, but that quickly clears out here before noon, and you've got sunny skies up and down the coast here throughout the day on your Friday, and that'll probably continue through a good portion of the weekend. All right, so for tomorrow, well, here it is. There's the heat I've been talking about, 100 degrees or higher for everyone in the valley. Temperatures mainly in the 90s, even some triple digits for some of the higher elevations. Upper 60s to even around 70. So yeah, it's warming up here, even for the coast. Now, as I mentioned, it's not going to last forever. We're going to kind of peak over the weekend. Temperatures start to drop. It's still very hot on Monday, and eventually below 100 degrees by Wednesday and Thursday of next week for the valley. For the coast, upper 60s to low 70s through the weekend. Temperatures start to gradually drop, and really this trend even for the mountains as temperatures peak around the weekend, early next week, and then temperatures start to drop again here. That's the case for Siskiyou County, Modoc County, and the eastern mountains, and still no showers, no thunderstorms in the forecast anytime soon. All right, if that's all you needed for your quick cast, thank you so much for joining us. But we've got more to talk about in our deeper dive. We go right into it. But first, let's talk about a 24-hour streaming channel. If you have Fire Stick Roku, search for Weather NorCal. You can watch the 24-hour channel on your big screen. If you don't have either of those devices, or you use the YouTube app on your TV, hey, I've got a Weather NorCal YouTube channel. Subscribe to it while you're at it. You can watch the 24-hour streaming channel, and on top of that, you can also watch the latest video forecast. We're an on-demand nation. We want to watch what we want to watch now. And you'll have the ability through the YouTube app to watch the latest video forecast that I have uploaded to YouTube. All right, let's take a look at our fire weather forecast sponsored by Garmin's Tractor Service. We're talking about the winds here. Now, the winds are going to be a little gusty tomorrow morning. And the other concern is the fact that, number one, it's heating up. Number two, it's a north wind, and that tends to dry things out even more. The winds actually do subside a bit, though. That's good for the afternoon, but then we probably repeat that process, taking you through the day on Saturday. Strongest in the morning, Saturday in the morning, and then by afternoon, those winds should start to subside. We take a look at that fire weather risk. Again, you can see by tomorrow morning, midday, we're in that moderate to high range, humidity levels in the low teens. We take you into your Friday afternoon, still in the moderate to high range. Kind of breaks down a little bit here overnight, but yeah, by Saturday morning, Saturday midday, yeah, you're seeing some of those gusty winds again, and also the higher fire danger as a result. So with the heat, the low humidity and the winds picking up, we really need to be careful, folks, during this heat wave. Not just to protect ourselves from dehydrating and keeping ourselves cool, but preventing any fires from starting. Now, the biggest smoke producer is the Big Cliff Fire and has been over the week here. And really, most of the smoke and haze is staying within the vicinity of the fire. But places like Trinity County, you can see some of that smoke moving in here. By the time we go into tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, that kind of dissipates a little bit here. But overall, that's where most of the smoke is going to be, kind of really around the vicinity of the fire itself. Now, the area of low pressure is kicking on out of here. It's got the cooler air associated with it. That's moving out. We've got high pressure right here that's been building in here, and that's why we expect much warmer temperatures as we wrap up the work week and go into the weekend. Let's take a look at Futurecast and take a look at this. Minus a little bit of that morning fog around Humboldt Bay. That'll clear out before noon on Friday, and you've got sunny skies for the coast, and that'll continue as we take you into your Saturday as well. Not even much in the way of fog even Saturday morning. Now, let's talk about the National Weather Service heat risk. This is a product that is issued by the National Weather Service, and it is an algorithm that takes a lot of different things into account, including the time of year. If we were experiencing this type of heat before or even around summer, a lot of this would be in the major to extreme because, again, we're not quite as acclimated to it or not quite as used to it. But due to the fact that we're in August, temperatures like this are, heat waves like this are not terribly uncommon. So it's more within that moderate range. So for those of you that are sensitive to the heat, most likely you will, and don't have the proper cooling and or hydration, as we go into Friday, we're in that moderate risk. Now, what you'll notice here as we go into Saturday, we're starting to see more of the oranges expand even into the mountains, even into Sunday. We're also beginning to get more of some of those major heat risk in some of the mountains as well. So conditions are going to be getting hotter as we go through the weekend. I think Sunday will be the peak. After that, temperatures will start to slowly drop. So here's the overall setup. You can see right now, and this is what we've been dealing with this week, is this more mild air up to our north, keeping our temperatures at bay, keeping this heat over here and keeping this heat off to our west. But as that moves out, the area of high pressure over the eastern Pacific will build and get stronger and build into, but not over, our region. That being said, we're still talking temperatures in the 105 to close to 110 in some spots here through the weekend. But by early next week, we start to see this retreat off to the west. We still have some heat over the desert southwest kind of expanding to our region. This, though, not as strong as what we're seeing here. But that's going to keep our temperatures fairly hot to start off next work week. But look at this. We've got another area of some cooler air here and another pocket and some energy kind of diving down to the south and east. That's going to put this area of high pressure way off to our west. That's going to put this area of high pressure back over the desert southwest. And we, as a result, see our temperatures drop. And I do expect to see even possibly near the end of next week, some low to mid 90s, even for the Redding area. In fact, here's the 10-day trend. You can see it peaks really over the weekend into Monday, and then we really see those temperatures begin to plummet near the end of next week into that next weekend. All right, here's a look at your neighborhood forecast, sponsored in part by Dignity Health. We're going to start off with Trinity County with those temperatures upper 90s to even over 100 degrees for some of the warmer spots. We really see that heat wave, though, for Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Temperatures do start to drop after that. Here's your Dignity Health North Coast neighborhood forecast. Your temperatures in the upper 60s to low 70s through the weekend. Temperatures do start to drop after that. But look at Garberville for your Friday, 100, 98 degrees for Alder Point. Blue Lake about 78. 101 out in Orleans, 104 for Willow Creek. Hoopa about 102 degrees. It peaks over the weekend. Temperatures do start to drop as we take you through next week. Here's your Dignity Health Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. 90s. Not quite reaching 100 degrees, but it will be close, especially for Sunday and Monday, and then back down to the 80s by next Thursday. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast, temperatures mid to upper 80s, 87 degrees for Canby and California Pines, 8 and 85. Upper 90s Monday, temperatures start to drop back down to the upper 80s by next Thursday. And your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, temperatures there in the 80s and 90s. 91 for Shingletown for your Friday, 93 Paradise, Chester close to 90, 90 degrees in Janesville, and looks like Susanville about 93. Now look at Susanville. You're up to 100 Sunday and Monday, and then temperatures start to drop back down to the low 90s by next Thursday. All right, let's take a look at your Dignity Health Valley neighborhood forecast. Down to the south here, mainly mainly 100 degrees or higher. I think places like Durham, Biggs, Gridley, you're splitting hairs. Could you see 100 tomorrow? Sure. But as you head south, temperature's not quite as hot. We'll keep it right around 101 for Chico for your Friday, 102 to 103, and then temperatures start to plummet back down into the low to mid 90s by next Wednesday and Thursday. Let's take you up to the north, 104 for Reading as well as Anderson, 102 for Red Bluff, 100 in Whiskeytown. Look at Lakehead, up to 99 in Bella Vista, about 105 degrees. Let's go and take a look at that 7-day forecast for Reading. There is the peak of that heat wave. Sometime around the weekend, temperatures do start to drop, but we're still going to be looking at those temperatures really dropping by the middle and latter part of next week, back down below normal, with highs at least for Reading in the upper 90s. That's your evening update. I'll be back again tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. and live on Coffee with Krueger at 6:30. Have yourselves a great night.